Yo, here I come with you new, the best build for Barbarian. Okay, let's start with expertise. It's of course two-handed expertise. Let's go to abilities. A basic skill 5 of 5. I will explain why later. Enhance and combat for berserking, and we need berserk all the time in this build basically. So let's go. Rend 5/5, enhance rend, so we can extend the duration of vulnerable and violent, or maybe you want use furious. It's up to you. Max HP, iron skin, tactical and enhance, of course, basically free heal. Outburst is the new one. So you gain thorns and tough as nails, so you can it's increase your thorns damage as well. So and it's all and it's basically a free bleeding tool. Yeah, challenging shout for damage reduction, nothing on brawling skills. Some core skills, paid fighter, no mercy, and strike 3 of 3. Hamstring 1 point, and of course cut to the bone here, so it's your building is increased, so it's 6 points, item contribution 3 points, and now it's steel grasp, vulnerable, and berserk. You want berserk here, so you want fighter steel grasp for insta berserking, so as you can see the elites are melting like ice on sunny day. Thick skin, defensive and counter-offensive 3. Heavy-handed for more critical damage strike if you use two-handed weapons, so it's nice synergy with gushing ones, so you need more critical strike damage, and it's pretty OP too in this build, so it's basically something new for you maybe. 1 point fury and invigorating fury for HP, for free heal. I think it's very OP in this game. So let's go to Paragon boards. Pretty standard. Warbringer, Blood Rage, and third one, Weapon Mastery. And let's go here for the glyph. There's a territorial glyph. Some kind of shit. Here, raw power. Call self and guarded advance, and I go to the right to the Blood Rage. Okay, enrage, then you go to Rival, Grit, Blood Feeder, the best glyph, and Crawling. Okay, so I go here now to the third glyph, Weapon Master, and I will go for the raw power glyph, maybe Iron Strength, Brute of course, and Hunter Killer, and then I go to the right and I will pick something. Okay, let's go to items. Okay, they are near completed, so maybe my helmet or my helmet chest and maybe gloves will vary in the future. So let's go. Max HP for more thorns, of course, healing, basic skill for normal and total armor, and it's imprinted basic skills. Grant 20% damage reduction for 4.5 seconds. So yeah, it's of course damage reduction while fortified, and that's the chest armor. Damage reduction, distant enemies, total armor, fire resistance. Fire resistance is pretty okay to have one if you want, and of course imprinted armor to gain more armor. So you can stack armor, and it's a pretty okay defensive option. So basically I am looking for razor plate to extend my Thorns damage, but it's unique armor and it's hard to find. Okay, Fist of Fate. Your attack randomly deal 1% to 270% more damage of the normal damage. So it's basically for fast attack. It's pretty okay to have a massive attack speed and a quick damage output. So I will show you how I play in this game with this build. So yeah, that's pretty OP pants basically. Almost 20% damage reduction from enemies that are bleeding. So in this build you have enemies that are bleeding all the time. So that's fucking overpowered affix. Thorns, it's a lot of thorns. It looks like it's a small amount of thorns, but it's very large. Basically it's a good option to have. Damage reduction, maximum life for more thorns, and Iron Skin grants unstoppable. A very good defensive affix. And puts movement speed, willpower and dexterity for the purpose to have your abilities with a paragon board. So for example, to have dex and to have willpower. So you really can't maintain your willpower and dexterity on high levels without affix that rolls willpower dexterity. So damage reduction while 4 injured is so good to have one. It's basically OP, very OP. And imprinted lucky hit give me 38% chance to extend my berserking for 1 second. So it's berserk depend build. That's a mace. In this build you don't use mace, so the damage output is not that is not important. Okay. And what's important here, your basic skill damage. That's a low roll unfortunately, but you want to have basic skill damage if you are using your skills, your basic skills damage all the time. Crowd control, damage the bleeding, critical strike chains, nice high roll, and the best imprint basic skills gain 60% attack speed. So it's a game changer for this build. Okay. That's basically you want to use a very good and very high damage roll on 100 weapon. So I have now imprinted affix of berserking. It is 20% damage for the enemies. And now we have Grimaldi's Opus Magnus. So it has a good stats in this build, in this weapon. So it's basically critical strike damage, damage to dual wield weapons. So we are using now all the time dual wield weapons. Damage to close enemies, physical damage, which is also bleeding damage. Bleed damage is a physical damage. So when you are basically, if you have 100% fury, you gain 20% more damage from basic, basically, and that's the weapon. So now 200x damage while berserking is the the new bucket so you want to have in your barbarian build. So it's the more damage, so it's a new bucket. Okay, to damage, basic skill damage, so you want it, damage to crawl control, and our enemies are always crowd controlled, damage to bleeding enemies, so it's huge difference. Gain 500 and 5000 thorns by berserking, so it's the game changer to thorns builds, and you of course want to have thorns while berserking. So as you can see now, you have to maintain the berserk 100% uptime if you want to play this build perfectly and carefully. So that's the game changer number 2. Thorns damage dealt has a 32% chance to deal damage to all enemies around you, so it's basically 32% to strike your enemies twice. And if you have 10 enemies, so it's maybe 3-4 times from one hit, only one hit in enemies, so your thorns multiplied by maybe 3 or 4. So it's the game change. So this skill melts enemies. So it's the number 1, number 2 must have imprinted affix to your equipment. So it's pretty nice ring, I think. Damage to bleeding, physical damage, critical strike and critical strike damage. You want offensive rings and offensive amulet. Okay, and maybe offensive gloves too. The rest is maybe for defense. So it's the best to play this game. Nice ring too. Damage, berserking, crit chance, crit damage, damage to close, and it's all the bigger damage of core skills, and of course it's armor and armor skull, and it's my blood amulet, almost 10% damage, movement speed, so you want to move faster in this game, and ranks to the code of the bone, so it's nice roll, and total armor for you. It's OP to have more armor in this game, and with the graphics, so basically it's all the time 24% damage reduction for your bleeding enemies, and of course skull to socket. So that's how you play this game. That's the build. So enjoy it and destroy your enemies with it. See you later. Bye.
Let's go.